So welcome back to the Fiat and welcome back to the channel. The Fiat 509A, which this is a really short video just with a bit of an update. As you may have seen in part one, and if you haven't seen, go and watch it. We dragged this out of the barn a few weeks ago. First and foremost, thank you for all the new subscribers. We've actually broken 1,000 today, which is quite incredible. I didn't think we'd ever get to that, ever, let alone within a very short period of time. So hopefully we're doing something right. So thank you, each and every one of you, for watching and putting up with my nonsense, because that's pretty much all it is. I don't think you're going to learn much from me. You might get some entertainment, but you're not going to learn anything. There's a lot of very clever people out there that do all that sort of stuff. Anyway, the Fiat has come out of the barn. It's now sat in the workshop. And over the last couple of days, I've been preparing to get it registered. To my mind, that involves a number of things. One, the car needs to be complete. Secondly, is joining the owners club, whichever club is recommended by DVLA. I've chosen the Fiat Register. Thirdly, paperwork. 2 lots of paperwork. You need a verification from the owners club, and you need 2 pieces of paperwork for DVLA, which one registers the car and one says basically I want to keep the old original number plate and it's already previously been registered in the UK. I think those forms have to go together. If you're in any doubt of registration, speak to DVLA, which is my next phone call after this video, just to confirm exactly what I need. So I had a conversation with the Fiat Club this morning that I've chosen, and that was very productive. And I've sent them an email with all the details of the car and a load of pictures and so on. So I'm now waiting for an email back from them to say, what do I do next? And I've always found with DVLA or any of this, you've just got to jump through the hoops really, and they'll tell you what they need. And as long as you're not trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes, you've got what you need. You know, the car is what the car is, and therefore, you know, there's nobody can say anything else other than that. You know, if you've got something that's got a bit of a checkered history and actually you want to register something as an AC Cobra, but it's a kit car with a Rover V8 in it, you might struggle. And that's just the situation. You know, we have this in the UK. You can't just turn up with a couple of bits of 4x2, stick a V8 in it and, you know, tell everybody it's an original CSX code Shelby Cobra. It doesn't work. So some of the body didn't survive the journey. The doors, a couple of them have come off, which is a bit of a shame. But I think once we empty it out and we mock the doors up, we can see what it all looks like. Just going to start basically stripping this out and then trying to reassemble it a bit. So we've got something that looks like a car again. Lots of rubbish in here, so I'll try and do it in some sort of order. Not going to throw anything away, but yeah, enjoy. So we've got out pretty much half a century's worth of crap now. I mean, the seats are actually quite remarkable. Both front and rear are actually pretty good, really. There's a little bit of flooring here, sort of 2 footwells almost, still have original carpet in. So the 2 footwells are there. I mean, again, the back of the seats are excuse me, back of the seats are quite incredible, really. So I'm just going to give this a quick vacuum out. Yeah, that's an interesting design, that floor base there. That is interesting. I guess when you sat in the back, your feet go in there, gives you a bit of leg room for at least one of your legs. Maybe it's where your bag went, don't know. Interesting though. The passenger side, which I've got the base for, that's where your battery lives, underneath there. And all the original floorboards are all there, which again is quite mad, really. And we've got that right the way through. All original floorboards at the front. You can probably see through there. There we go. Certainly driven untidier cars than that. Quite incredible. Now what we've got to do, I think, is piece it all back together. So some of it's easy, like the front seat. And then I've got to try and get everything else to sort of fit in place so that it looks like what it is. If only it was all that simple. This is a bit like a massive jigsaw puzzle without a instruction book of any description. But there we go. It is what it is. I might be wrong with this, but my understanding of this is that the car pretty much has to resemble what it is. As long as it resembles what it is, I believe that everything's pretty much fine and dandy. Obviously, there's limits to that. So when somebody turns up to look at this from DVLA, which I'm sure they will do, they'll use an agency of some description to come and look at it. When somebody turns up to look at it, they will go, oh yes, that is a Fiat 509. And there isn't any dispute in that. That is, I'm going to say, the theory anyway. So quite typically, my battery died yesterday while I was doing this, and it was getting late anyway, so I decided to go home. This morning I've come in and just fitted up the rest of the bodywork as far as I've got. I think that's complete enough. All doors are in place, the front windows are in place, the rear window surrounds are in place, bonnet, wings, etc. Seats, dashboard, all the bits I think that we need to be able to say this is a Fiat 509. Now, I don't get the choice of whether I say that. That's down to the Fiat Owners Club, or one of the Fiat Owners Clubs that is designated by the DVLA. I've chosen to go with the Fiat Register, only because they seem to specialise in vintage stuff. It's 1928, we think, so that's vintage. So we're going to go down the road of doing that with the Vintage Club. I've spoken to somebody this morning, a very positive phone call, it has to be said. Not all of that, that's not always the case, by the way. A lot of clubs can be very, very difficult. I have had one or two that are quite difficult to deal with. I'm not going to name names, but they've been really difficult. The chap I've spoken to from Fiat has been amazing. So, what happens now is the Fiat Register will decide whether they need to view it, whether they're happy that it is what it is. I've sent them pictures of the VIN, I've sent them pictures of the engine number, I've sent them pictures of the car. And then they will advise me on what paperwork I need, and they'll also hopefully supply me with some documentation to say, yeah, as far as we're concerned, this is what it is. So there it is, the Fiat 509 Buy and Find is back together. And we now await the Fiat Club, and then we wait for DVLA. I'll keep you updated on this all the way through so that you can see how that process works. My understanding is that DVLA have just changed a load of guidelines on this for registering cars in the UK with the idea of making it easier. Whether that works or not, we're about to find out. I've got the car, I've got the information. I'm not hiding anything, so let's try and get it registered in the easiest way possible. I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, share, tell your friends. There's some nutter trying to put this thing back together. Catch you in the next one.